Boyfriend couldn't stop liking half-naked pictures of other women, so I posted one of myself. Alright, my boyfriend has started following a lot of Instagram women. Not regular ones, I don't mind those, but particularly the ones in lingerie, and with their ass out. Even was watching thereof. I told him it made me uncomfortable and to stop, but his response was, "It's just Instagram, you're doing too much, it's not that serious," and he kept doing it. Well, I posted some pictures of me in a G-string bikini. Ass out and all. He saw it and started freaking out, slamming doors and yelling. He was like, you don't respect yourself. Girls who do that are hoes. That's embarrassing, I don't want my girlfriend doing that, bro, that's weird. And he is mad, like really mad. He told me to take it down and I said, "No, isn't this what you like to see?" And his response again was, "You're in a relationship, why would you do that?" And I said, "I'm only postin' what you like." After I said that, he started ignoring me. It's been hours and honestly I don't feel bad at all. For months I was uncomfortable and asked him to stop and he couldn't, so yay. Now he's a victim of a crime he participates in.
Entitled Parker parked in my driveway, so I blocked them in. And got drunk all weekend. Friday night, I came home from work to find someone on our block was having a large party and someone decided they were entitled to park in my driveway. Keep in mind my driveway is a single car width lined with a retaining wall on both sides and a garage at the end. Essentially impossible for a tow truck to come pull them out without property damage. Seeing this and the lack of street parking, I took this as a cue to park right behind them in my driveway. Now a few hours go by and their entitled parker is now knocking at my door demanding I move my car so she can leave. Seeing as they were demanding, I informed them that I had been drinking and would not move my car. The entitled parker then decides to call the police to get them to force me to move. When the police knocked on my door, I was sure to grab a beer from the fridge before I answered to talk to the officer. I had informed him that after I got home I was unwinding and had been drinking and was in no shape to drive. At this point their hands were tied because they couldn't tow her car out. I'm in no shape to drive and I'm legally parked in my driveway. I ended up telling the entitled parker that since it is a long weekend I would be on a weekend long bender and they could come move my car after I go to work on Tuesday.
Am I wrong for telling my boyfriend if he doesn't shower? I'm leaving him. My boyfriend and me have been dating for 3 years. The relationship was going amazing until last month. He was watching YouTube and came across a video of a creator talking about how they don't shower for months at a time because apparently it's healthier. So he stopped showering, and every time I mentioned to him that he needs to shower because it's fucking gross, he gets mad and storms off. I've been mentioning that he needs to shower for the past 3 weeks now and he refuses. We got into a huge argument, we never fight. And it got to the point where I screamed at him and told him that he smells like Bo. And if he doesn't shower, I'm leaving him. I eventually packed a bag with essentials, grabbed my car keys, and rented a hotel room for 2 nights. He blew up my phone non-stop telling me he's sorry and to come home. I eventually had to block his number due to him sending me 20 messages at a time and having over 40 missed calls from him. He used to take 3 showers a day, wear expensive cologne, and wear deodorant. Now he won't shower. Showers himself in cologne and he won't wear deodorant. Every time he hugs me or gets close to me, I gag. What do I do? I've been talking to friends about this situation. They all tell me to leave him and that he's gross. Doh. After reading everyone's comments the best I could and thinking about it, I decided to unblock him and try and talk this out. He didn't want to talk it out and told me that I'm not his mom, and that he'll do what he wants and that he's a grown man, I can't control him. Whatever. We got into an argument about that comment. I told him no. I'm not your mom, I'm your girlfriend and I don't want to be with a man. that doesn't keep up his hygiene because of a YouTube video. I took y'all's advice and looked up articles on how this is not healthy for me or him, and that he could give me an infection, and sent them to him. He started saying mean dollar stuff to me. And eventually I told him that I do not want to be with him anymore and that I won't take the disrespect he's giving me. And another red flag is that after I told him I don't want to be with him, he started blowing up my phone with calls and messages again, apologizing for being a dick, and he didn't mean what he said. He's just angry. If I could post screenshots of our conversation, I most certainly would. He might have some sort of mental illness like most of you said, but I'm not sure. I'll message his mom about getting him help.
Today I fucked up for forgetting 12 p.m. means noon and nearly missing a big deadline. Obligatory disclaimer that this happened a few weeks ago. Just wanted to wait until it no longer made me cry. I recently went back to school for a postgraduate program. The workload has been intense, 6 courses, and particularly hard with assignments coming left, right, center faster than anyone could keep up. The final 4 weeks were tough, and keeping up with deadlines was like that final lap of Mario Kart where the music speeds up and you're desperately trying not to slip over a banana peel. We have the same professor for courses we'll call Class 1 and Class 2, who combined the final project for both courses into a 2-parter, 2 different assignments but on the same topic and in the same groups, just one was written and the other was technical. Each was worth 20% and we had a month to do them. December 9th. I'd worked with this group of friends we'll call Jack, Wendy, Alice, and Sarah before and knew they were good workers. Early on, Jack and Sarah mentioned that they were working and flying home on the due date respectively and would like us to start early to make sure we get things done. No problem. We pick a topic we really like and things come together fairly quickly. December 8th comes around and the project is going well, but everything else has descended into chaos. I have one group presentation going poorly, a bully in another, 3 WhatsApp group chats blowing up at once, and I'm here running solely on too much caffeine and Christmas magic. We have a meeting with the professor over Zoom about part 1, who confirms that we're on the right track and we feel ready to submit at midnight the following day. December 9th comes around. Yes, we have classes on Saturdays, and yes, it sucks as much as you think, and Sarah wishes us well as she boards her flight, and the rest of us have a meeting at 2:30 p.m. We get on Zoom with the professor to talk about our progress, who, after some small talk, asks us if we made our submission. Every single one of us is momentarily confused before confirming yes, we submitted the supplementary peer review. The professor nods and then asks us again. We stared blankly at one another to the extent that we could through our cameras, wondering why she was asking if we had made a submission for an assignment due at midnight. It was Jack who finally said, "You mean the one due tonight?" To which the professor said, "No, I mean the term assignment for Class 1. Jack repeats himself, "It's not due until midnight though." "You mean the peer review?" And I add, "No, I checked, it's due at 12, and it's then that it hits me. Part 1 was due at 12 o'clock p.m., meaning noon, aka 2.5 hours ago. Part 2 is due at midnight. To make matters worse, I'd checked this the previous night and freaking registered that it meant noon and somehow still forgot. But it wasn't just me, somehow we'd all missed it because we're used to our stuff being due at midnight and we assumed both of these would be the same. You could have heard a pin drop in that Zoom call. There were several seconds of panic before Jack and I call out in shock, "Alice and Wendy aren't speaking." I'm thinking about how Sarah's on a plane for the next 10 hours and how in the hell are we going to explain this? She's never going to speak to me again. The professor realizes what's happened and tells us not to worry. She's allowed for late submissions in case people had issues submitting online or needed last-minute help. She also extended Part 2, the one actually due that night, by a day because of how burnt out and exhausted we all look basically. She's always been a super kind and understanding person, so this reaction wasn't out of left field. When we get off the call and I've stopped crying like a 3-year-old, we take a minute to recover from the shock before pulling together, making adjustments, and submitting our work. We laugh about it now, but yeah, write down your deadlines, kids. Happy holidays, everyone. For more stories, subscribe to our channel and share your opinion in the comments.